Hello,
Yay.
welcome to Goodish Girls. I'm Dallas.
I'm Melissa.
It's Alyssa again. Last week it was
It's
Cass, and now it's
me.
Alyssa. Surprise! You
It
never
was
know who
really
you're gonna
fun to
get.
see Cass.
It was fun. I think she had a good time.
Yeah, it made me happy to edit that episode.
I think she was tired afterwards, but that's fair.
You know,
She was
that's
multitasking the
that's
whole
pregnancy.
time.
That's true.
So here we are. So yeah, you might see Alyssa, you might see Cass. It just kind of depends on how the week's going.
You'll always see Dallas.
Always, I will be here. I'm invested in this book.
She's the glue that holds us all together here.
Oh, that's nice. I love that. I'll be the
Um,
glue.
Austin finished Quicksilver this morning.
And what did he think?
I think he liked it. We haven't had a chance to talk about it yet because he's been working all morning. But he had to like run an errand this morning and texted me and was like, I finished
Oh my
it.
gosh, the
Yeah.
ending.
Yeah. I can't
I
wait
had
to hear
to
what he thinks.
I feel like when I end some books that change my life, like I feel like I have to mourn them afterwards. I don't
Mhm.
know if that's everybody or it's just like some people, I don't know. But I had to mourn that book for a while.
Yeah.
And I had a hard time like starting another book immediately because I was like, should I just reread it again? I should just open
Yeah.
it again.
The nice thing for him is that Brimstone will come out fairly soon.
Yeah, just a couple months. We just got to
Hmm.
get through the summer.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait. And I know you saw the covers because you posted on
Yeah.
it that you did see them. They're so cute.
I like them. I'm excited.
I've shown everybody.
I still want to own the old cover,
Yes,
but but I am excited.
we got to get you a copy.
Yeah, for sure.
You have a friend going to Germany, you said, right?
She was just there.
Oh,
My dog is moving the table that my camera's on. That's what that is.
Marvel. Silly boy.
She was just in Germany and she got me the German special edition
Oh,
of
she
A
did get
Fate
the
Forged in
copy.
Fire. She got me a copy and she got it signed for me,
Yay, that's so
which is really cool.
exciting.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
reference to our previous episode is A Fate Forged in Fire by Hazel McBride that just was
Mhm.
released. So, and
Yeah.
all the covers are stunning. There's not
Oh
one
my
that I
gosh,
don't
yeah.
like. They're
I know. I'm
beautiful.
like, I feel like a collector. I'm like, I want them all. I don't even read German. I want them all.
That's okay. That you're gonna learn it through that book.
That's right.
I'm gonna learn other languages through all of the Quicksilver editions too one day when I get my hands on them.
There you go.
It'll be fine. Learn the word
Yeah.
alchemist in all sorts of different languages.
In every
In
language.
every language. It'll be
Yeah.
fine. So we're covering chapters 27 through 30 today. And they're very good. They're very action packed. Some of them are pretty short and sweet, but they're good.
Small but mighty.
Small but mighty. Amazing. So we are starting off on chapter 27 this week. Marked is the name of that chapter. So if you remember from the previous episode, if you're listening in, they are hanging out in a house that they went to visit in like Ballard, right? So they went to bed, they're waking up. Um, in the previous episode at the very end, Kingfisher makes a note that his mom like was also killed, right? Because he's like, hey, tell me something deep. She tells him about like her life and Hayden and his issues, and then her mom and how she died. And he's like, well, my mom was like also killed. And then he leaves it at that. Like that's the end of that chapter, right? And then in the next chapter, we don't go back to that. So
Yeah.
they just like wake up and then there's no like other deep talk, right? They immediately get hot and heavy, as we probably expected.
Hmm.
But this time it gets a little bit more intense because Saeris this time actually asks Kingfisher to bite her. And like not just like asks him, basically begs him to do so. She's like, just bite me. Right. And he's like, I don't know. And she's like, just do it. And so he does, right? Sinks his teeth in, and they both basically get high as fuck. Right.
Yeah.
And it's like euphoric and they're blacking out and everything's great and they're doing the forbidden taboo scandalous thing as Lorth says, and so she's trying to like sort through all the things right afterwards. So because he's able to release her, thankfully. I didn't see, trying to think how I would put it. I guess I'll ask you then. Were you concerned that he wasn't going to be able to release?
No. I don't feel like that would like fit the story or his character
Mhm.
very well. Like I know Cass last week tied it to like Twilight and like Jasper being a new vampire and
Yeah.
all of that. And like I don't know, I just feel like it's a little bit different.
Mhm. He's more
Like
mature than Jasper.
yeah. Like I understand it's difficult, but I just don't think it would be in like Kingfisher's character
Mhm.
to not be able to.
Right. Like even if it sacrificed himself, like in some way
Yeah.
for him to let go, like he would make it happen.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
agree.
Yeah.
During these moments that they're having together, this is a first time where they realize like that they can speak into each other's minds. So Saris is like, quote, like, side note, Fisher and I are not are now capable of speaking into each other's minds, which I thought was pretty
Another
cool.
classic like romanticy thing.
Yep.
Classic.
Mate Bond Communications.
Yep.
I'm here for
We
it.
love it. Yeah.
I feel like some days I would love that, and some days I would hate that. We gotta learn to build the wall, right? Like, you gotta shut it
Like
out.
leave me alone. Yeah.
Leave me alone. Stop talking to me.
Do you like it do you like it better in books like this where that bond can go miles and miles and miles? Or do you like it better when that bond is like, if they're so far away, like I cannot talk to them anymore? Because I feel like both exist. Like
Mhm.
I've read books with both of those. Do you think like it's too unrealistic if they're like a continent away and they're like, yeah, hey, like what's up? What's going on?
No, I think I like them both. I feel like it is more realistic to be able to do that no matter where you are. Like, if the mate bond is so strong that you might, like, die without each other, right, in some books,
Yeah,
I think it's strong enough to be able to still mind speak even though you are a distance apart. Like, I think the point of the mate bond is no matter where you go, we are still connected entirely, right?
right. Yeah,
Because
like
I like
the
them both, but
yeah.
if I were to
It's more
choose one.
it's more like the like you were your soul person, you know. You were meant for this person and no matter what happens in your life, like fate, you'll find
Mhm.
them
Right.
kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
That's what I would choose. Like, if I was writing a book, that's what I would do.
What book are you gonna write?
I don't know. Probably none. No books. I'll just read them.
You'll just read them.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm the book writing gal. I really just want to read books and then talk about them on this podcast and stay at
There
home.
you go.
That's my dream.
Yeah, I love that.
I lived my
In your she shed
yes, if
that we
this
that we
podcast
film
goes
in.
somewhere, I'm going to build something out back in my backyard and that'll be my recording studio. And I'll read out there and record my podcast and everything will be great. And I'll retire at my house. It's my dream.
That'd be like the dream to sit out there in like the rain
Yes, 100%. Especially like
and
my
read.
backyard, it's all woodsy, so and it has like a pond, so the rain is
Yeah.
very dramatic in my backyard.
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool.
Guys, please like and subscribe and share our podcast so I can retire in my backyard.
Shameless shameless plug so Dallas can get her she shed and
Yeah.
read in it while it's raining
Yep.
on the pond.
No shame. Please share my podcast. I'm
And I
not
can
above
visit.
begging. Let's help Alyssa retire too. We can build you a she shed.
Mine would not be as nice as yours. My backyard is quite small.
We'll make it work. Guys,
I'll
like,
move.
subscribe, share this podcast so we can get Alyssa a new house and then we'll build a she shed.
Yeah.
Dream big.
Yeah.
No one
I love
who's
that.
gonna tell you otherwise.
That's right.
We'll buy your neighbor's lot. I'll make a
Ooh.
move.
Okay.
And then that will be your she shed, the whole house.
Perfect.
I've
I
seen
love
people
that
get
for me.
apartments just to record content.
Yeah. I've seen that too.
Let's get Alyssa an apartment, guys.
An office
See,
space, we'll
you
call it.
have so many options.
Mhm.
You have options. I love it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, they're at breakfast. She's like wrapped up in a sheet because she has no clothes because the ones that she had were shredded. And then Kingfisher obviously did not pack her any clothes. He packed her like weapons and a whole bottle of whiskey. So he really did the man thing. He didn't really think that through. He did exactly what a man would do. She's like, "You didn't even pack a toothbrush, bro." And he's like, "Ah, my
Fitting
bad.
though, like, he can't be, like, perfect, you know?
Can't be perfect. You are forgiven, Kingfisher. Next
Yeah.
time, do better." But also, it doesn't matter because he can conjure things. So he just
True.
makes her an outfit.
Right, so why did he pack her a bag then?
Maybe to make her feel better, feel more like it's like a human thing, right? Like packing things, carrying them with you, having them with you for comfort.
Maybe,
Because he was like,
maybe.
"You can bring the fox too, like if you want, I guess, if it makes you feel better." Right? She's like, "Where are we
Yeah,
going?"
yeah.
So
That's
my
fair.
guess would be that it was like a comfort thing. And he was like, "She
Okay.
won't need this whiskey, weapons. Throw them in the bag, I guess."
Who needs a toothbrush anyway?
Nobody needs a toothbrush. It's fine. So this was a really important moment though. So like again, they're downstairs, they're at breakfast. So she finally gets some clothes on and then she realizes that the tattoos that were swirling up her arms and stuff the night before have not vanished. They are still there. So she says, the tattoos I hadn't cared about so much last night were still all over my fingers and the backs of my hands, except there were more of them now, many more. Stacks of small runes ran up each one of my fingers, delicate script wound around my wrists and up my forearms. I had no idea what the fuck any of it said. And the backs of my hands, I started to feel very lightheaded. The design on the back of my left was simple. The lines were fine and twisted together beautifully, forming a shape that almost resembled a flower if you squinted at it long enough. The one on my right, however, it was bigger and covered the whole span of my hand. The lines were bolder, they twisted around one another, forming a variety of knots that I had trouble even picking apart with my eyes. It wasn't just one rune, it was many, interlocking, woven one on top of another, on top of the other. One of the runes wasn't even black, but a dark, iridescent blue green color that flashed metallically when it caught the light. Girl is covered in
Yep,
tattoos. Hey,
there's
Marvel.
Marvel. I can relate to this though. Like, if I looked down and had like tattoos that I didn't pick out, that
Mm-hmm.
I, didn't sign up for, and they're
Yep.
just like covering you, and not even like covering like your upper arm where it's like
Mm-hmm.
under shirt, like your hands.
Yeah.
I love tattoos, but I would get like, I would feel like lightheaded.
Oh, for sure. I question. I mean, yes, you had a sheet on, but how was she wearing the sheet? When she's like a sheet, I imagined like when you wrap a towel, right? It's like
Hmm.
around. But was she doing
Yeah.
like this number? Was it like, girl, you
Do,
didn't
do,
see your
do.
hands? It's daylight.
She was all wrapped up in that sheet, and
I
then
was
she was
like, is she
like,
just like a winter coat?
yeah.
So I was like, how come you didn't notice those sooner? I don't know. I questioned that.
I also thought that, where I was like, okay, but like, it's been a minute. Hello?
Yeah. She like woke up, she stretched, she put a sheet on. She's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I smell coffee. This is great." She's like, "Oh, yeah, I can
Again,
speak
like,
into his mind."
it wasn't on her back. Like, these are your
No,
hands.
right in front of your face.
Like, you're having coffee, it's on your hand.
Yeah, you open the door.
Right.
You you reach up to like I don't know, literally anything.
She
So I
was
was
really
like,
wrapped up in that sheet.
yeah, I was like, it took you a minute. I mean, maybe she was wrapped in a funny way that she couldn't see her hands, like a little snowball.
Yeah.
But
Or like, just like bleary eyed still.
yeah,
I don't
something.
know.
Girl needs coffee. Saris is not a morning person. That's what it is.
There it is.
That's what it is. She's
Needs
not a
her
morning
caffeine.
gal. That's okay. Do we think that the mind speaking was essentially like the mate bond opening or clicking into place? Or do we think that they were always capable of that, like since the first time, and Kingfisher just never tested that theory?
No, I think it was more like snapping into place,
Hmm.
personally. Because, I mean, he like casted his voice all the time. Like, I just think if he had known it was there, he would have done it.
Probably.
Because it's not like he was in her head and she was like, "Oh,
Hmm.
we're mates." You know, like
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything to her, and she's seen him do all these other magical things
Mhm.
that he has seen has, like, caught her off guard. So why would she think differently?
Yeah, I would agree. And the fact that they went onto her body not like during such an emotional moment, I
Mhm.
think I would agree that it's like everything is clicking into place exactly how it should be. So
Yeah.
obviously Kingfisher's like kind of brushing them off, but you can see on his face that he's a little concerned about it. Like he's like, "Oh no, what's happening?"
Mhm.
So she's trying to get him to like explain what they mean, and he says a lot of them are connected: light, dark, silver, steel, earth, fire, like air, water. He's like that kind of thing. Alchemist stuff, he says. Like that's not a real
Never
explanation.
never mind how you got them. It's just about your occupation right now.
Yes, this is you're an alchemist. Just look at these. Oh my gosh, such a redirector. And she says, I held up my right hand and pointed at the mother of all runes shimmering there on my skin. What the hell does this one mean? Fisher met my gaze. That one's difficult. I can't give you a definitive answer, not yet.
I don't wanna scare you, but we're actually really meant to be together.
I feel like yes, I know in the previous episodes we have like talked about how odd it would be, but what
Yeah.
gets more odd than if you are with someone and just
Yeah.
random tattoos show up on your body? This is a good moment to be like, okay,
I mean,
this one
I guess
means
he could have at least been like, "It means we're connected in some way."
yes,
Be
something.
yeah. I can't remember, does she have a concept of what she doesn't even have a concept of what, like, a mating bond is, right?
No, nothing.
Right. So, at least it's not like he would be like, "It means we're connected in some way," or whatever, and she's not gonna be like, "Oh my god, are we mates?"
Hmm. Right, because
So, yeah.
that's not a human term. That's a Fae term.
Right. Right.
But she's been like, "Hey, like, I know there's been there. I feel something. I feel something strong. I know you feel it too." So, like, she's not stupid. Like,
Mhm.
she knows something is happening.
Mhm.
And I think that, again, this is just like the miscommunication trope that sometimes irritates me as a reader in any book.
Yeah, it
When I'm like,
furthers
here's a
the
great
plot that
opportunity.
this is like I think of the Fourth Wing series, there's so many points in that series where I'm like, "Just talk to each other,
Hmm.
please." Like, just have
Yes.
a conversation.
You'll be really proud of me. I'm almost done with book one. I started it
Wow.
last week, like
It's
4
exciting.
days ago.
Do you like it?
I love it. I did the thing that I don't normally do. Normally I wait till I finish a series and then I order my books as a reward. But I did the thing where I they were on sale at Book Outlet for like
Well done.
$6 hardcover.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, bye. Bye bye. I'm gonna finish the
Mhm.
books. I love the first book. Like I love what I'm hearing or reading already. It's fine. And I also bought
Yeah.
stickers for when I'm done. Because I'm a
Oh,
sticker
that's
girly.
fun.
I went to
Yeah, I love
Target and
that.
to find the Knight and the Moth, and they obviously didn't have it. But they had Fourth Wing stickers, and I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna keep these as a reward for when I'm done reading it."
Good for you. I love
So,
that.
yeah, I'm pretty far into it. It's very good. I knew I would love it. I just every time I
Yeah.
was like, "I need to start that series," I would just jump into a different direction or a different series. So, it's not like I
And
wasn't
it's
avoiding it.
no, it's not like it's going anywhere either, you know?
Yeah, it's here. It's chilling. If you guys want us to do a Fourth Wing deep dive, let us know. Maybe we will.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe
know.
we will.
We haven't quite chosen our next book yet, so maybe it will be Fourth Wing.
Has Cass read Fourth Wing?
Um, I don't know.
Hi, Marble.
That's a great question. I'd have to ask her.
We'll have to ask her.
I don't think so. Maybe she has.
I
I
don't
know
feel like I've ever
she
talked to her about it.
maybe not. We have a couple friends at work who have done it.
I have said if we did cover Fourth Wing, I know a lot of people that said they were like, "Well, if you do Fourth Wing, we'll listen." And I'm like, "Just listen to Quicksilver."
Yeah, just listen to one book and
Yeah.
then you can listen to it.
Yeah.
That's so silly. I'll let you listen do this book, do this book. I mean, everyone has favorite books
Oh,
and we
yeah.
got options, right? Like there's lots of different books that we have all read or can read
They're
pretty
not going
quickly.
anywhere.
They're not going
Yeah,
anywhere. And we have lots of time. This podcast isn't going anywhere either. So maybe we'll do all the books.
maybe.
But if there are
Every book.
specific books, you can drop it in the comments. I will accept. I will listen to requests. Maybe we'll put
Yeah.
a vote. We'll like pick like 3 options
Okay.
and put it to a vote. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll put a bunch of notes in a jar and we'll pull one. And we'll do the thing where you pull one out and you're like, the one we're not doing is, and then you read it off until the jar is empty.
Ooh, dramatic.
Mhm.
I like
I
that.
I do like to be dramatic every once in a while. I don't know if you've met me.
Or seen our recent TikToks.
Yes,
They're good.
I'm trying. I'm a 30-year-old 90 at heart lady. I don't know what I'm doing.
You're doing great.
I have to play it like 100 times. I'm like, "Hello?"
No,
Like to
you're doing
memorize it.
yeah, you're doing great.
But when I'm at work and I'm not in front of the camera, I can recite the TikToks in my brain. But then I get there and
It's
I'm
just the
like,
pressure.
I think it is
Yeah,
of like matching up exactly the moment with the sound.
I love doing that.
It's I'm getting them slowly. If you guys want Alyssa to make TikToks, tell her. She won't listen to me.
Don't put it to a vote.
The pressure, it's on. So,
Uh,
anyway, so back to it. He can't give her a definitive answer, right? She's still like stressing about it. And so Kingfisher glamours them. He's like, okay, you can't see them. And he tells her that she has a month or so to decide to keep them. And if she chooses not to, then they will disappear, right? So, like, bro 100% knows what's happening at this point in time. He knows the
Also,
timeline. He knows that she has to make a choice.
yeah, if he hadn't glamored them, think about everyone's reaction.
Oh, they would all know. It'd be like when she's in the chair
Like, yeah,
and no one would tell her.
yeah,
Again, nobody would tell her. They would just be like, "Congratulations.
nice tats.
Nice tattoos, girl." And
Where'd you
then she'd
get
be
them?
like, "I don't know what's happening here."
Yeah,
Because every day we just don't tell Saeris what's going on. It's wild to me.
yeah,
I hate it. So then she brings up that like the original tattoo, the bird tattoo on her chest, and she's like, what about this one? And he looks at her and he goes, "Well, I can't take that back." But during that, we learned that he's not actually talking about that tattoo because he apologized. He's like, "I'm sorry."
mm,
We're not talking about the tattoo though. We're talking about the 2 red welts above it where he bit her. He can't take that back.
she begged him.
She sure did. It was very consensual. And it's a very quick chapter. That wraps up chapter 27 easily. Like nice little bow. We're moving on, right? So in chapter
Yeah,
28, it's called Just to Ask. So we start with her in the forge, and she is trying a couple more trials. She's using like it's like bismuth, she's cadmia, cinnabar, lime, calcite, tin salt, copper, all the things, right? 3 more tests, no luck. She's really upset. Obviously, she's like super frustrated. I'd probably be really frustrated too, right? And so Carrion finds her in the back breaking beakers against a tree. He like lights up a cigar and he's like, "Do you want one?" She's like,
this is
"No."
one of my favorite chapters of the entire book.
It's so great. It's
Like, I'm a huge Carrion fan
yes.
anyway,
Mhm.
but this chapter, so good.
It's hilarious how Callie Hire like brought this full circle, right? So
Mhm.
he's like, "Hey, are you still having trouble like doing this thing? Are you having trouble making it from a solid to a liquid?" And she's like, "No, I'm good at that." So we know that she can easily change it from the state of matter, right? Like solid to liquid. But she's like, "It keeps mocking me." And he doesn't believe her. He's like, "It's not sentient." And she's like, "No, dude, it really truly is like sentient." And so it's a bright idea to ask the question. He goes, "Well, then have you thought about just asking it to meld with the pure silver?" And she's like, "That'd be too simple. Like, I can't just ask it to become a relic." And he's like, "Seems to me that if you can ask it to be a liquid or a solid, you can ask it to be all kinds of things." Carrion Swift for the win.
I also love that the character that mocks everybody
Mhm.
is like, "Oh, it's mocking you? Like, just ask."
Yeah. Just ask it.
Like, it's even funnier that it's coming from him because all
Mhm.
he is that's what he does.
Yes. 100%.
So,
He literally just
yeah.
mocks people and has a good time.
Mhm.
So And when I read this the first time, I was like, "No way." But then
Yeah.
they need to test the theory, right? So the only thing they can test the theory on is Danya's sword that is 500 pieces lying in the side of the wall, right? So they go in to the war tent where Danya's sword lays. And when she walks in, the Quicksilver immediately speaks to her. And it didn't do that the last time. So it's like, she comes, she approaches, she comes, she sees, she hears, right? It's like talking to her. And if you listen to the audiobook, which I know we both have, I thought it was interesting that it was both the female and male characters' voices for this one. So it was like a mixture.
I yes, and this was something that I actually did notice right away. I thought it was interesting the way they did this in the audiobook. Again,
Mhm.
another like I'm not always an audiobook like, you know, that's the way to go, but for this book specifically.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
Mm.
the audiobook is amazing. It's superb. And I highly recommend listening. I can't say that enough. So she's like, "Hello? Hello, Quicksilver." And she's like, "Can you come out of the stone?" And it keeps repeating. It's like, "Out? Out? Out? Why? Like why?" And obviously it's like super drawn out and dramatic and like pitchy. And it said that the voices buzz like droning flies. And she's like, "Hey, like the warrior who owned you is real pissed." And she's like, "I would like to put you back together." And it gets upset. It's like, excuse me, like owned. It's like, we're not owned. Like no one owns us. Which fair, good for you, Quicksilver. Nobody owns
Yeah.
you. Uh, and she says that she heard the anger in the layered voices. And so she's like, "Oh no, I gotta backtrack here, right?" Because now she's making it mad. And she's like, "Okay, the female warrior who carried you, not owned you, she wishes to
Yeah.
carry you again. So unless you can be put back together, she can't do that." And it makes it very clear. It's like Fae and human desires do not concern us. Right? It's like we don't care. And so she's trying to figure out like what it's gonna need, and it asks for music. It's like, "Give us music and we will obey." She's like, "Okay." And so she's like, "How about this? Like, allow me to reforge you. I'll have someone sing a song just for you." Right? And during this, she's like, "There's no way this is gonna work." But it's like, "Ooh, okay, a song from start to finish for us to keep, for us, like they want to keep it forever, right?" And she's like, "Okay, I guess I'll find you a song, right?" And so she promises them a song, a whole song for them to keep. Uh, and and it says, "And you will forge us into a mighty blade like any other." And she's like, "Yes, like if you'll allow it." And it accepts. It goes, "We will accept. We're accepting." And then so she pauses there. She says that she didn't want to push her luck. Um, but she says, "There was one more thing I wanted to know. And will you bestow the blade I forged with magics that the bearer might wield?" And it goes, "A gift revoked." And it said that it like cried out. It says, "You can ask for what cannot be given." And then it kind of states like all warriors are the same, right? Because the Quicksilver doesn't seem very trusting. It says they only wish to kill. Like this, they're all the same, which I thought was interesting that it has an opinion like that all on all warriors, right? So it's like it's almost like sick of being with them. It's like we know what they want. What are your thoughts
Oh,
on that?
there's something I would so love to parallel to Onyx Storm, but you're not there yet.
Well, I did spoil one thing for you, so you can say it. It's okay. And the
No, no,
readers need
no.
to know. The listeners
N-
need to know.
They'll know. If they've read Onyx Storm, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
They'll
It's
know.
just
Okay.
it's the all warriors are the same. Like all they care about is killing. Which I will say for this, I find so interesting because this it's in the sword. Like it's
Hmm.
in a that's what swords are for.
Right. That's literally what it's supposed to do.
Hmm.
And
It's just
especially with like Danya's sword specifically and Danya's relatives, because it was like it's an heirloom for her. So it's been
right.
passed down from generations. So knowing like Danya's personality, I'm assuming her family had somewhat of the same type of personality. So I feel like
I
when
mean,
she's on the battlefield, that's what it was used for.
that's even if you're somebody who like fights for peace or like fights only to defend your people, you're still using a sword to kill other people.
Mhm. Right.
So, like, how sad is it to think of like To think of it being like, man, you guys all just want to kill people.
Yeah, you guys are all the same. I'm sick of this. I've been in
Yep.
this world for way too long.
Right. Yeah.
I'm over it. I just want to hear some songs. I want to jam out. I want to
Right.
relax.
Can you just put me in an instrument, please?
Yeah, put it in a little harp or something or a guitar. I don't know, something fun.
Yeah.
Give that Quicksilver a little break. So again, it's really upset. It's like they only wish to kill, and Saeris fights it. She's like, no, no, no. Like they fight because they have to protect, to defend, and it's like, no, no, improbable, not not likely. Girl, this Quicksilver has been in this sword for a long time. Like they're not stupid. They know. And
Yeah.
so she's like, how can we show? Like, how can I show you this otherwise? 3 minutes pass. Can you imagine sitting there in silence for 3 whole minutes just waiting? I'd be like, hello, did I lose
Are you still
connection?
there?
Are you
Yeah.
st- are you still thinking? Let me know when you're done. If you need anything, I'm right here. But she waits. She doesn't say anything.
I mean, I feel
And
like
it's
you have to be patient with something or like a being that is that old anyway.
probably, it needs a minute to think.
Yeah.
So after 3 minutes pass, it finally comes back and it says, we will bear witness to the blood and will be forged anew. And it says, once you have held up your end of our bargain, we'll taste the blood of the one who would carry us. If they are honorable, we will consider allowing. Right. So they're like, hey, bleed on it. And then if that warrior is worthy, then we will stay. Okay. And she's like, all right, cool. So she's like, all done. And so she turns to Carrion and he's like, all good. And she says, she said that she promised it something that it wanted. And he goes, ah, bribery. I should have thought of that. And
See?
that
I
one
love it.
line made me laugh so hard.
Oh yeah. Carrion's lines, I know that I've
Iconic.
said this before. I would be like on a run and hear one of his, like quips and just start laughing while
Yep.
running.
Mhm.
Also, think about his POV during this. Like,
Oh my gosh.
Sarah's is just sitting there waiting for 3 minutes.
Yeah, staring at this
How does
wall.
Carrion not say anything? How is he not like,
Well, he tries, right? He's like, "Hey," and like, "Are you
yeah,
good?" And she's like, "Shut up. Shut up. Stop talking.
yeah,
Stop it." And so he's like,
yeah,
"Okay."
yeah.
But then during this time, as she's talking to the Quicksilver, they like she gets startled right when she's all done because she realizes that Lorith is also there. So Carrion eventually did have someone to probably talk to for a
Yeah,
hot minute, right? And she's like off in Delulu land talking to the wall. And right, they
yeah.
start to pick up all these 500 pieces out of the off the floor because the Quicksilver like popped out of the wall and dropped on the floor. And thankfully, Lorith showed up there and used his magic to gather all the pieces and put them in a pot for her.
Good thing he's there because you'd be cutting up your hands.
I wanted to see them pick up all these pieces.
500
Yeah,
sword pieces, not puzzle pieces, like
sword.
sword pieces.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's like when
I
you
I wanted
drop
that as a
something
chapter.
glass in your kitchen and it shatters and you're like, nobody move.
Nobody move. Nobody move your feet.
Yeah.
Who has shoes on?
Yes, and then immediately you have to put your shoes on.
Yes, just to be safe. But
There's
I
nothing
yeah.
there's nothing worse than standing in the kitchen in your Crocs cleaning up.
Yeah, so
Something
Lorith
is hot.
had now we know that he has the magic to like pick up things, move things, collect things. So, and
Yeah.
that's I think that's the only time we really see Lorith's magic, but I wonder if in book 2 we'll be able to see that more. Like I would like to see what he's able to pick up.
Mhm.
Is it small
Yeah.
things? Is it larger objects? Can he pick up a people like a person or a fae or a human or whatever?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was relevant to the plot of
Mhm.
book 2 in some way.
Yeah. I think it would be nice to see that. And so she sees Lorith and she's like, Lorith, what a coincidence. I was just about to go out looking for you. Because if you remember, Lorith, before he almost died and met Kingfisher and became his soul brother, he used to be a traveling singer.
Mhm.
Woohoo! And that, another like beautiful, short, awesome chapter that wraps up chapter 28.
Yeah. It's a
It's
lot
a
of
good,
big
that's a good
moments,
chapter.
but
Hmm.
like wrapped into these little chapters.
Yes,
I
like
love
very
it.
small but important pieces of the book.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
then we enter kind of a larger chapter, chapter 29, Ballad of the Agen Gate. So she's in the forge. She's working on Danya's sword, and the Quicksilver is quiet and it's like combining, waiting to see what kind of sword she will build. She's stoked, right? She's like, I'm going to build something badass this time. Like, it's happening. And so she looks for Loris' help in the evening, sitting out with Carrion by the fire. Loris and Carrion made a bet with hitting a target, and Carrion is so pissed. And he's like, he played me. And she's like, what are you talking about? Right. So the first person to go, he's like, I was a gentleman. I had him go first. And he's like throwing this little knife at a tree. And he's like, 216, 217, 218. So Carrion's lost all his money at this point, and he's upset. But coming from the man who used to like shark people all the time,
Yeah. How did he fall for that?
I think it just cockiness, right? And I think that
Yeah.
maybe he underestimated Lorith, right?
Yeah.
Sweet, just chilling little Lorith. I mean, big Lorith, right? But like, just chilling, casual guy. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'll take that bet. Right? And Karen's like,
Yeah.
got him. And Laura's like, doink, doink. Like, throwing these knives like it's no big deal. So he's real pissed. It, I, I hope that scene specifically is in the movie or show,
I feel
the
like it
Netflix
will
special.
be.
I
I
hope it
feel
is.
like it's they have to like you have to counter some of the heaviness of the
Hmm.
other things going on in the book with
Oh, for
those
sure.
moments. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like it will
Yeah.
be.
Carrion getting his ass kicked in a bet is something that we need to see on the big screen of my TV.
Hmm.
It's going to be great. I can't wait. Another note to the director, please add this in. These are my requests. I have a list.
We'll make a compilation video of all your requests from the podcast.
Yes, we'll send it in. And then my
Yeah.
audition to be the Quicksilver voice.
Yes.
Send it in. And that's how I will get the money to build our she sheds to record.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm here for it. So Saeris asks Lorith if he has experience whittling, and she shapes the sword overnight, and Lorith brings her a wolf head that he whittled to match the Lupo Proelia, right? So he like carves it out. So it's 4 a.m. Carrion's in the forge. He's like, hey, I'm going to bed. He lays down on the floor, and she hears Kingfisher say, it's time for you to rest, little Osha. But she's like, I cannot. I have been working on this. I need to get it done. She's been there for a really long time, like 15 some odd hours, right?
Hmm.
She's been there for a really long time. So it says that he had been hanging out with her to let her work. And she does ask him to come in from the cold, but he's like, hey, I'm going to give you a little bit like more time because he's out there and she's in there. So the three of them eventually work to add the hilt and the pommel of the, and to add like the hilt on it and then the pommel of the wolf's head to the sword. So she adds the words to the sword blade as well. And it quotes, by righteous hands, deliverance of the unrighteous dead. So I thought that was an interesting quote. What did you think of that? Like all of them working together to put the pieces on.
I love moments with the three of them together because what a great group.
Mhm.
Not even like this is like super obviously, and it's not like a comedic moment or anything, but I do love like just their little squad.
Mhm.
Um I didn't really break down like I feel like the quote very much when I was listening,
I would agree.
but it is pretty powerful like if you sit there and actually think about it.
Yeah, by righteous hands, deliverance of the unrighteous dead. And we know whose hands it's going to go into, right? Like we know it's going to go to Lorith's hands,
Right?
who is like very honorable and very righteous.
Yeah.
And he's going to use it to kill, like slay the enemies who are
Hmm.
unrighteous.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very, very interesting. So as the sword is done, everyone's like, man, that's incredible. Like, that's beautiful. And Lorith asks to hold it. He barely touches the edge of the blade and he bleeds. And the Quicksilver speaks and it says, it's time. Give us our song. So a burst of green and pink lights fly into the sky. We know now as the aurora. which is
Mhm.
a blessing associated with the sword and carrier. Lorth drops to his knees during this time. And because Kingfisher mentions that this has not been seen for over 1,000 years. And they're like, it's been there all night waiting in the sky, but like it wasn't going anywhere, right? And so Lorth begins to give the song to the Quicksilver. And he sings a song about uh, the ballad of the Agen Gate, basically. So it's a really, really sad song. And even during while he's singing it, like Kingfisher visibly is like sad about it because it brings him a lot of really, really dark, deep memories of a war that they were once in. If you guys have listened to me, because I've been telling you to read the bonus chapters, the actual war itself, like with the dragon that they are talking about, or the drake that they are talking about, it breaks down this war in the bonus chapters, right? So it says on the day of the last drake, whose named is I always mess this up every single time. Old Nam Shakrai, which is like the
Mouthful.
very, very last dragon that they know of. I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure they're coming back in Brimstone, but that's just me.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh, how like the Fisher King who destroys it and the wolves at his back, which is the Lupo Proelia, right? So Kingfisher is in a battle with this Drake trying to defend the Agen Gate, and it says like the Drake did stir. He had like ink black mad eyes. Um, all the things like he says they pledged him of death and decay. So big old dragon. And I'm trying not to say like too much without spoiling those bonus chapters in case for some reason you did not take my advice and read them. We're gonna post them in these show notes too. Because now it like goes with the song, right? To like
Yeah.
understand the song in a different light. I think that you guys really need to read them. Right. So it talks about how like the wolves scaled the summit. That's in the bonus chapter as well. Like the pact that they have together. We're scaling the summit, blades in their hands. Like the Drake knew that they were coming. And so he met them like up on that summit. And so it says like there was no escaping the glowing hot flow with teeth bared and dripping. The Drake trapped the Fae, laughing with cruelty above the warriors he'd slay. But the wolves had their ground, all dauntless and brave, determined to send old Shakrai to his grave. They did too. It talks about how they're bearing like Kingfisher had Nimrel, and in the song they call him the proud Fisher King instead of
Mhm.
Kingfisher.
Mhm. I
They talk
liked
about
that.
like Nimrel was in there, and they do talk about like how like he was slayed. What are your thoughts on this song?
I when it first start, because as the song goes, like when it first started, I feel like you're like, is this going to be? Because you don't know how long it's going to be, and
Hmm.
I guess unless you're reading. At first, I was like, how relevant is this going to be? Like,
Right.
and I was like, is this just going to be about like Lorith and like, his journey and his
Hmm.
life? Or, and then as it goes, I feel like you have to become more and more invested, especially as you learn about like, and you see Kingfisher's reaction to it. Like, you can tell he's feeling it too. It's affecting him too. So, um, when it first started, I was like, oh, like, okay, here's the song, like, da da da. Quicksilver asked for it. And then as you go, you're like, "Oh, I'm getting the backstory here that I've been kind of missing." So,
Yeah, I would agree, and especially once you read the bonus chapters, you're like, oh, I know this. I know this thing, right? Because as you're reading them, you're like, hold on, this is very familiar. And then when I was reading, I went back to the song to the chapter to correlate the two together. So then to
oh,
know the bonus chapter, to know all of these things, and then to know that once the Quicksilver accepts this song, that they all forget the song was so sad.
yeah,
I was like, no.
right.
I was really upset about it.
Yeah.
Right. So the song ends. The Quicksilver is like thinking about it, and it's like we've made a decision. right? And Kingfisher, Lorth, and Saeris can all hear the Quicksilver speak. This is the first time this is the first chapter that is noted, where the Quicksilver can speak to multiple. So it's choosing who it speaks to.
Mhm.
I think well, we know that it can speak to Saeris because she has an alchemist, right? And then we know it should be able to speak to wow, edit that out. It should be able to speak to Kingfisher because he has Quicksilver in his eye and it is more like a hive mind.
I
But
see.
then Lorith, I think, was then included because it's now bonded to him, right? So it
That's
says,
kind of
we
what I
accept the song as
assumed.
tribute, the bargain is fulfilled, and a chord is struck. And then she's like, hold on, hold on. Like, this, you said it would test the warrior. And it was like, we did. Someone bled on us. We liked them and they sang us a song. So here we are.
As soon as he cut his finger on it, I was like, "Oh, it's sorry.
Oh,
Sorry,
really?
Danya." Yeah.
I don't, I don't know that I caught that immediately. I was like, I had to think back and I was like, oh no, it's happening. Right.
Mhm.
And so Lorith finally realizes like what happened. He's like, oh no. And he tries to give the blade to Kingfisher and
Yeah,
he's
he's
like,
like, "I
I
don't
am
want
not
it."
touching that. He's like, get it away from me. I'm sorry. And then poor Lorith, he's probably like so worried, right? He's not scared of Danya, but like I think in this moment he was like a little bit scared of Danya. Cause
Well,
ugh.
even if it's not scared of her reaction, like, angrily towards him, obviously it's gonna be hurtful to her.
Oh, definitely. This is a huge family heirloom. She has had this god sword
Right,
for a very long time. And
right.
Kingfisher kind of finds it funny. Like he's like laughing, right? And
Also,
it's like,
like,
no, you're
if
Danya's sword.
if you retold that story to Danya, like, "Oh, well, like, we reforged this for you," and then he cut his hand on it, and then he sang it a song, like, how would her reaction not be like, "You literally
Yeah.
you asked for that." Like,
You literally, what do you mean? She's like, what do you mean you sang to it? Like
right,
what?
right.
Yeah. Oh no, she's gonna be pissed, right? And the Quicksilver's like, we are not Danya's. We are reforged anew. We're a brand new blade. And you do not claim us, Lorith of the Broken Spire. We claim you. So Quicksilver knows what it's doing. It's very independent and it knows what it wants, right?
And like
So
you said
everyone's
before,
super
selfish.
confused. What was
It
that?
doesn't like you've said before, selfish. It doesn't care what how, Danya's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, "Oh, we're gonna hurt her feelings. We're leaving her."
No, it's over
Doesn't care.
Danya.
Yeah.
And here it is with Lorith. It likes him better. Wild. And so she's like, "Will you?" And then they're kind of going on forward, and Saris mentions that the song had been accepted, and they're like, "What do you mean the song?" Right? And then that's when she realizes like nobody remembers this song except for her as the alchemist and the Quicksilver. And he's like, "Well, I was going to write a song about the Agen Gate," and Kingfisher's like, "Do not do that. That's in the past." Right? So I think it was really sad to hear that it was like erased from their memories, but also it probably did save Kingfisher a little bit of pain in his heart. So that's probably good, right? He probably
Yeah.
does need less trauma in his life. Just a little
Does
bit.
not need to relive.
No. No. And so then the sword is like, now we need a name. You have to name us, right? And so Sarah's like, go ahead, like name it. So he's thinking, and he names it Avisith, the unsung song Redemption's Dawn. And a blue flame runs down the sword, and a bright white light shoots out from the sword into the air. And Kingfisher hollers, "Angel's breath, brother. It's fucking angel's breath." And another like sweeping, awesome end to a chapter.
Yeah, for sure.
Amazing. So that wraps up chapter 29. Like, Lorith has the sword, it's all his. Then we pile
Yeah.
into chapter 30 called Swear It. So they go back to the tent. They're kind of wrapping up everything. And Kingfisher wants her to sleep in his bed. Like, they're going to sleep in the same bed. She's been working for 15 hours. Like, she's tired. He ends up like giving her a bath while I read this as like she was kind of sleeping a little bit. Like, he washes her
Mhm.
hair, he does all that stuff. She's like in and out of consciousness. Like, she's so tired. Do you think that this was a little overdue from someone who has worked 15-hour days? in the past of hard work. Like, do you think that this was a little overdramatic? Like, do you think that you could come home and then, like, sleep a little bit while you're, like, in a tub and someone's washing your
Yeah.
hair?
Yeah, I think I probably could.
Okay. I was like, "I
I've
don't
and
know."
it's not like she was just, like, working, like, sitting at a desk, like,
Mhm.
clickety clacking for 15 hours. Like,
Clickety-clack.
she was reforging a, a god sword. Like,
That's true.
I would imagine it would take more out of you than
Mhm.
doing other things for 15 hours.
Well, and talking to the Quicksilver probably also drains her energy a little bit, right? Like, it has to. Like,
Mhm.
all magic
Yeah,
requires a price, I guess,
right,
and pretty much all
right.
fantasies.
I will say that I can come home from a 15-hour workday and, like, fall asleep sitting up on the couch, so I could probably fall asleep in the bath with someone washing my hair. That sounds kinda
Alright,
nice.
okay. Alright, I was like, "What if she goes under?" Hopefully he's, like, holding her up.
I did think that,
Just
um,
sleep down.
'cause I've, like, read it before in books where people, like, fall asleep in the bath, and I'm like, "Don't you just, like, and then you're
Yeah,
like,
did you, like, slide into the water?
I think about that a lot.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. They don't talk about that kind of stuff in books.
No.
So, Saris has a moment throughout this chapter in her thoughts on how she, like, made a sword, right? A magical sword. And so as she's laying with Kingfisher, she reaches out with her mind to the Quicksilver that she's with, and it's chanting Anarath more. As usual, we know what that means. It means release us, like it's speaking. So she tries to speak and explain who she was, right? She's talking, we know now that she's talking to Kingfisher's Quicksilver in his eye. And she's like, "Hey, like
Mhm.
I'm Saris." And it's like, we know who you are. You are the dawn, the moon, oxygen, which I thought was a pretty powerful line that the Quicksilver understands who she is and what she means to Kingfisher.
Yeah, how are you not picking up on, like, the connection here,
Yeah.
Saris? Like,
She's like, "Why do I have all these weird
oxygen
tattoos every time we touch?"
oxygen is pretty, important.
It's a big deal. It's a
It's
huge
not like
deal.
it's not like it was like, "Yeah, he thinks of you like flowers, beautiful."
No,
Like,
literally oxygen to breathe.
oxygen. Yeah.
And she's like, "Okay, that's weird." If we just tell her, I think she'll be fine. So then she asks the Quicksilver to leave Kingfisher. And it's like, "Hey, we cannot leave. Like they are him, he is them, like they are one." And she's like, he's a fae. Like they're not supposed to bind to." And she's like, she wants to say like people, but she can't, right? And she's trying to explain this, but the Quicksilver cuts her off and says that he is a weapon. And the Quicksilver can bind to a weapon, right? So it doesn't see Kingfisher as a person. And they
Mm,
make it very clear they have been bound to him for years and they are him. It cannot leave. It all suffers with him. And so it also says that when he was a young boy, he entered the pool of Quicksilver, which we know that Bellicon like pushed him into and that he shouldn't have lived. And the Quicksilver saw that he was strong and had purpose, which is why he is alive with the Quicksilver inside him. They made it an implication so that Kingfisher could also agree to this. So they basically made a bargain together when he was younger for him to
mhm.
survive.
This is interesting because I think it ties back to the theory of, like, different Quicksilver have different personalities
Hmm.
because they're like, "Yeah, we, like, bound to him, he's a weapon." Whereas, like, the Quicksilver in Daniel's sword is like, "We're tired of being with killers." Like, all these people wanna do is kill
Hmm.
people. Like, it's just very different.
Yeah, it's
Um,
very sentient.
yeah. And, like, the way it reacts to her every time whatever Quicksilver she's speaking to reacts to her as a person, whether it be like, "Oh, she's coming, like, we want to speak to you," or like, "I know who you are. Like,
Hmm. Right,
what do you
exactly.
want?"
So interesting. Such a good
Yeah,
concept, though.
it is. Yeah, for sure.
So eventually, Kingfisher figures out that he's like talking. They're talking to each other, right? And he says that he's been waiting to see if she would try to take the Quicksilver from him. And he's not mad about it, right? He's like understanding. He's like, "Hey, you want to help me? Like, I get it, but now you know why you can't do that." So as they're trying to have this moment, Ren is like bursting through the tent needing Kingfisher, and he says that a horde is at the banks again and all hell is breaking loose, right? So like screams and hammers, it's down on ice. There's a ton of things going on. There's like 1,000 feeders going on. So everyone's getting up, they're getting dressed. Like Saeris is told to stay put, but she's like, absolutely not. Kingfisher gives her fighting leathers and she's ready to go. At first he's like, are you sure you want to go? And she's like, I'm going. And so she says that she'll only stay if he orders her to. He swallows and asks if she would go to college for him. And she says no. So he does try, but he doesn't use the oath against her and the bond against or the bargain against her, which I thought was good because he said that he wouldn't do that anymore.
Mhm.
So he's obviously super tense. And he says, if you come, will you stay right by me? And if I tell you to stay somewhere safe, and if I tell you to run, and she agrees to all of it, right? She's like, I swear it. And he's like, swear it, little Osha. And she's like, swear it. So they made an agreement, right? Like she's going to go
Mhm.
out there, she's going to help. In this moment, this is a really big turning moment, I feel like, because he pulls a sword that he eventually had in the Quicksilver in the very beginning, Solace. He said, my father's bones rest somewhere in Zilvarin, which his sword spent the last millennia there, making it more Zilvarin than Yevelian, which, again, we do not know that his bones rest anywhere in Zilvarin because we've never seen the bones. But yes, the sword itself has been there for a very long time.
Mhm.
And he says, the unrelenting and unmerciful in the face of the wicked dead. This is a big deal. This is
Yeah. Oh.
literally his father's sword that he gives to Saeris to use.
Mhm.
Huge deal. Huge deal.
Again,
And I
you
wonder,
better you gotta be picking up the pieces now, girl.
oh, right? You would think. You would think. In book 2, right? Knowing where we are now, like knowing that you've finished the book, I think that Kingfisher's dad will come back in book 2. What do you think will happen when he sees Saris with that sword?
I think it'll be hers. The same way Lorith's Daniel's sword is now Lorith's
Mhm.
sword.
Yeah.
Like I think in this universe and in a lot of universes like this, there's like a recognition of when something just no longer belongs to you.
Mhm.
Even if it meant something to you, like you kind of it
Right.
just becomes accepted. Like that is not mine anymore.
Mhm. Yeah, that's
That's
fair.
what I would assume.
That's fair. If my theory is correct, which I don't know that I have no receipts on this, that Kingfisher's father, who has been stuck in Zilvarin, is actually Elroy. That's my theory. Again, I have no basis on it. I think that Elroy would be really proud that she has his
Mhm.
sword.
Oh, for sure. If it was Elroy, for sure.
I don't know that it was because she's never
Well,
mentioned like Elroy and Kingfisher look the same or anything like that.
yeah.
But also we know that Fae can glamour quite a bit, right? Like they can hide their ears, things like that. So it has to be
Yeah.
someone that was important in her life before. It can't be like, oh, here's this random guy that's been stuck in Zalvar that I never knew.
Yeah. Maybe.
That's my guess. Again, I have no receipts.
We'll see.
So right as they're about to go out there, Ren says, and if you find soul sundered from flesh, order a drink for us at the first tavern you find in the afterlife. We'll settle the tab when we get there. In
What
his
a
little
heavy line.
accent.
What a
Oh,
heavy
Ren.
line.
It is a heavy line. But like, what a thing though, right? Like, let's go out. We're going to war. If you die, find a bar, grab a drink, and we'll be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
What a good ending to that chapter. That was so
Yeah.
great. This book. I can't.
Great
It's perfect.
characters.
I love Ren.
Yeah. I mean, all the characters in this book. And they're like realistically, there aren't a ton of
Mm-hmm.
characters. They're all
Right.
so well written and they all play off of each other so well.
Yes, 100%. They're very well written. They do play together really well. And when one of them dies in the next book, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
pass
know.
away.
And there's not a lot of secondary characters to kill off either.
Hmm.
There's just not. Like,
Right.
what? Wendy? Like,
Wendy.
which would be very sad, but
They wouldn't break our
there's
hearts.
no, there's just not a lot of them.
Hmm. Yep. Who do you think's gonna die in the next book?
Ren. I My
Yeah.
first thought's Carrion, but he was so close to death already. I almost
Yeah.
feel like that we've already touched that. So,
Hmm. Same for Everlane.
yeah.
I think those two are off the list. I think Ren, Lorith, or Danya. Or Hayden.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
Hayden will get a redemption arc and then die.
that's fine.
But what if the redemption arc is so good that we love him?
I'm gonna love him more than Ren.
No, probably
Yeah,
not.
probably
But
not.
you never
You
know.
never know.
I trust
We'll
Callie
find
Hart's
out.
writing. I trust
Yeah,
it.
for sure. Yeah.
Yay, we did it.
Yeah.
If you like our podcast, please like and subscribe. Share it with your friends. We post episodes every week. Help us get our she sheds and our offices so we can podcast full time.
Yeah.
Help us live the dream.
Yeah. And be part of the conversation.
Comment on it. Send us emails with your questions, your thoughts. On our TikTok, we post a lot of conversations as well. So anything you guys want to talk about, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Yay! We'll see you next week. Can't get enough of the Goodish Girls? Follow us on social media for sneak peeks at our upcoming episodes and bonus content.